Hello everyone. The video I shot on adding return registers to your HVAC system seems to have generated a fair amount of interest. So I figured I'd shoot a video of this week's project, which is kind of in the same vein. As you can see, I'm in the bathroom of my house, specifically the master bathroom. And unlike the main bathroom and the laundry room, which were originally equipped when the house was built with a ventilation fan, this bathroom is not. That's not so much of a problem in the summer when the AC is running and keeping things dry, but in the winter it gets really humid in here. There's a window over there that we open that helps a little bit, but it's not enough to cut it. So it's quite hard to shave after you take a shower because everything's all fogged up. So I've got a basic ventilation fan here, and we are going to get it installed. Also, my kind of thought process on this is that fan's going to suck air out, humid air out of the bathroom, out the roof. I'll probably still have that window open and leave the bathroom door closed, so that's where it'll pull cool or hot, whatever, dry air in. So if I put the fan near the window, it's just going to short circuit. So it's far better if I put the fan way over here over the shower where all the humidity is coming from, and farther away from the window. So that's kind of the logic. That's why I'm going to put it directly over the shower. Alright, to do this job you're going to need a few things. In fact, quite a few things. So from your hardware store, you're going to need the new fan itself. You will need a double switch. This is what they call a combination 2 switches. You will need a new switch plate cover, assuming that your combination 2 switches is different from your original single switch, which it probably is. Let's see, what else do we need from the hardware store? Probably, if you don't have a caulk gun, you'll need a caulk gun, but you also need caulk. This is for doing the bit on the roof penetration. I've seen people use regular silicone, so maybe that works. I went and got the roof-specific stuff, which is basically asphalt mastic. So you'll need that. Let's see. Also on the roof side of things, as long as we're sticking on that subject, you're going to need a hole saw. Mine was a 4.5-inch hole saw, and I think that's pretty standard. So, hole saw. What else? Roofing nails. You don't need too many of these. In fact, I think I only used 2. Also on the subject of the roof, you need a hammer to put the nails in and a pry bar to lift up the shingles. Okay, I think we've beat up the roof part. Regular stuff, installation stuff, you're going to need a drill. I used a cordless, which was, the hole saw was actually a bit too much for it, but we made it work. Regular Phillips head screwdriver bit for the drills, that's so you can mount the fan against the 2x4. Smaller drill size, not really too particular. This was just so I could punch a hole in the ceiling and run the coat hanger up there to mark the spot. Of course, you need a wire coat hanger if you're going to use that approach, and some masking tape to tape the wire coat hanger up. In the same vein, you need a clipper to cut the wire coat hanger if you're going to use that approach, and a pencil to mark the ceiling helps. Also, stud finder to mark the ceiling helps. When you're cutting out the ceiling, you're going to need a Sharpie. And I believe that covers most of... Oh yeah, the tape measure also helps if you're for that part and for getting the roof penetration sorted out. Drywall saw for cutting the hole for the fan. And then I think that brings us to the electrical side of things. Electrical and ducting. Ducting, I used a 3-inch flexi duct. You can't see it here because I've already installed it. But yeah, that was a 3-inch by 8-foot long flexi duct. And there was also a 3-inch by 4-inch reducer, which snaps right into the roof vent. Also, you need that roof vent, which is also installed at this point, so you can't see it here. To make those connections, you need foil tape. This is, I want to say it's like 3-inch wide. Wider is better, makes your life easier. And scissors to cut the foil tape. On the electrical side of things, you need your circuit tester, which is very useful in several steps of this process. You're going to need some wire nuts. I've got 3 sizes here, the little ones. I've got the number 3 min gauge, number 2 min gauge. I don't think I actually used any of those. I definitely used some of the number 2 to number 4 red ones here because these are much bigger. You will need a box cutter both to cut shingles and to cut wire. You'll need some Romex. This fan was small. It's I think 0.9 amps, so I was able to use regular quote-unquote lighting Romex, which is good for 10 amps. And some screwdrivers, a little flat blade to do your switch plate, and a larger Phillips head to do the outlet. You'll also need a fish tape. Of course, PPE and other things. As you might be able to see here, I'm wearing a respirator because digging through insulation is disgusting. I also have a headlamp on here. That's very helpful. You can use a regular flashlight if you're a masochist. And 2 ladders. I used a regular little step ladder in the shower to actually access the ceiling to to make my marks and do the bit up there. And then to get up on the roof, I used a larger, I think that's a 15 or 20 foot ladder. So 2 ladders. I think that's about it. Let's get to it. So I'm going to do the standard trick of find the stud. The studs run this way. So I'm going to find one that's in roughly the right spot. I'm going to move a couple inches next to it, drill a hole, and then stick my half a coat hanger with a piece of masking tape through it, which will stick to the insulation, and then when I go up to the attic, I'll be able to see the spot where I want to put it. Alright, now let's go up to the attic and get that guy all set up. We're up here in the attic, and looks like I got pretty lucky with my picking of a spot because the stud finder wasn't behaving very well. There's the wire. It's sticking up right in the middle of two studs, so we'll go clear away the insulation and get ready to cut a hole. Okay, now we're going to lay our fan in, get our orientation kind of sorted out, and then draw our Sharpie line, outline around the fan so we know where we need to cut. I'm going to use my usual trick of, so to avoid the cutting drywall making a giant mess in here, I'm going to use my usual trick of taping a garbage bag to the ceiling or the area where I'm cutting to catch the worst of the debris. Normally I do this with masking tape, but my wife just took a shower in here and my masking tape, the humidity is too high and the masking tape isn't working. So I'm going to do this with duct tape this time and hope it doesn't damage the paint too much. But yeah, as long as the area is reasonably dry, the better approach here is to use masking tape, not duct tape. Okay, now that we've got our hole set up, let's get our fan installed and bolted onto the stud there, or screwed into the stud there. Okay, so for this next part, I've gone and cheated slightly. Normally what you do to figure out where in the roof you want to put your penetration in your vent is you go from the inside and you hammer pound a nail through the roof, and then you put the penetration there. However, depending on where that nail ends up, if it ends up kind of like in between 2 shingles, that could kind of be a pain in the butt. And I got a flexi vent for this because it's a it's a roof fan. It doesn't need to be rigid piped. So rather than pound a nail through the roof, what I did is I took that other roof penetration there,
measured out roughly where I need to be from there, which is 2 feet that way and then 3 feet this way, and that puts me neatly right here, so, or in this rough general area. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use this side of the shingle as one of my cuts, if you will, and then I'm going to put my roof penetration right here and my vent right here. And this guy's what do we got, 6.5 inches wide, or actually maybe just 6 inches wide. It looks like it's about 6 inches wide exactly. So I'm just going to take 6 inches off this shingle right here, and that's where it's going to go. If you're looking at this and saying, well, that's a rather old-fashioned style vent, you're right. They do make new fancy ones with bird screens and check valves and all that. I opted for this one, A, because all the other ones on the roof are this style, so it'll match them, and B, the fan itself has a check valve on it, so I don't actually need a second one. Take that as you like. But anyway, we'll get started here. Okay, so you have to get those staples out of the way. Okay, now we've got our staples out. We should slide this guy in. Voila! Okay, now we're going to secure him down with some silicone. I've got the roofing specific variety, which is more like roofing mastic, and a nail on either side here to lock this in place. We're going to cut our hole in this with our hole saw right now. Before we do that, okay, so we have our wonderful 4.5 inch hole, which will be more than adequate for the 3-inch vent we're going to put through it. Now we're going to caulk this guy up with this black roofing caulk, and we're going to hammer it down. So when you do the caulk, you're going to want to do all the layers that we've kind of broken the seal on here of the shingles. And you're also going to do along the bottom here, but not the whole thing, because if there's any condensation you want to be able to drain out. So you're going to do a U-shape here and leave this section open because it's the downhill section. Well, if you're looking at this and saying that looks a little bit different than it did before, you're right. I accidentally put it in upside down the first time, had to take it out, clean the caulk off the bottom, re-caulk the top, and put it back. So yeah, make sure you do that right the first time, rather than making a hash of it like I just did. Anyway, let's get some roofing nails in there. Okay, now we're going to put the silicone under the silicone or roofing mask underneath these shingles that we lifted, so that they're all properly secured again. Okay, as you can see, we got a nice hole in the roof there, and we've got our roof penetration all done outside. So next I'm going to reduce that down from a 4-inch to a 3-inch with this thing, with this adapter that snaps right in, and then we'll hook the flexi hose up. Actually, on second thought, I'm going to put the flexi hose on it first and then I'll snap it up, because otherwise it'll be hard to get the hose on afterwards. Okay, next we want to seal up around the fan box there to make sure we don't have any air leaking in or out. You know, you don't want your AC or cold air leaking out into your attic around the fan you just added. So we're gonna seal that up with foil tape. Okay, that just about finishes the mechanical side of things. With that all taped up, we'll just go ahead and put our grill on this thing, and then we'll change gears and start working on the electrical portion. So we're done in here, we can clean up. Next is wiring.
Okay, well we're here up here in the attic, starting the wiring, and I think I found the right spot. This should be where the light switch is, so this should be the power going in, which is live, and this should be the wire going to the light on the vanity. Babe, is that wire on? Which was on. Oh wait, here we go, there we go. So I'm going to have my wife go ahead and turn the light off now, and that should tell us if we got the right spot here or not. Okay, the light is now off. So we still got our power line is running. And I got no juice in this line, which means we have the right spot. Let's go find the... Oops. Yep, let's go find the circuit and the circuit breaker and turn it off so we can run some wire here. Inside, and now we're gonna go cut off the circuit breaker here so that we can wire up the fan without causing any problems. So that, if my labeling is correct here, that'll be this one: master bedroom, master bathroom. So we're gonna hit the lights on that.
And the lights are out in here, so we've clearly gotten the right circuit. Let's get to the wiring. Okay, we're back here in the bathroom. The power's off, and we're going to get this switch plate open and the old switch out so we can get ready to swap the switches. Okay, well, as is usual with these electrical type projects, there's always some sort of a surprise. In this case, even though that was a single switch and switch plate, this is actually a double gang box. And there is in fact not just the supply wire and then the wire going out for the vanity light fixture behind me. There is a third wire on the far left there, which you probably can't see, but it is there. That is also wired up to the same switch, which is rather interesting because there's only one light fixture in here. So this makes me kind of suspect that there was originally supposed to be a fan in here, because usually when they do that sort of thing, it's you turn the light on or you turn the switch on, and the light and the fan both come on at the same time and run at the same time. However, up top, there's only 2 wires, so I have no idea where that third wire is going. Obviously, there was no fan in here until I put the new one in, so it may be either fallen into the wall or abandoned or something to that effect. But anyway, they probably, at some level here, plan to have a fan. So the double gang box will certainly help us. Leaves a lot more room for wiring and such, but I do have a single gang double switch here for the new one. So as usual, we're gonna have to fish some wire through the wall here. There is one port open on this double gang box, or one that I've just popped the tab off of. So I'm gonna, and there's a hole drilled in the 2x4 covering it up top already. So I'm gonna commence my fishing from the bottom here and try to go through that open port I've just added and see if I can get it through the 2x4 up top. So we'll skip that bit of footage because it's just me blindly sticking a fish tape up the wall for 15 or 20 minutes. Okay, as you can see, we've got our fish tape through the receptacle now. We got it to work by going from the top. We tried from the bottom and it kept getting jammed up against the wall. So we went from the top and were able to get it where we needed to go. So with our fish tape routed where we needed to go, I'm going to tape the end of this Romex here. This is the lighter 10 amp maximum Romex. I'm going to tape this onto the back of the fish tape and we're going to pull it up through the wall. And then we'll be able to get our switch going, wired up here. So let's pre-feed it on this side, make sure we got through the hole. There we go. All right, I'm going to go up to the attic and pull it on through.
Okay, well, we're up here in the attic again, and I've got the Romex taped to the other end of the fish tape. Here's the fish tape in the hole, and I'm going to pull my Romex up here. I guess I should mention at this point that this is kind of a two-person job. In fact, the last step was also a two-person job. My wife's been helping me. Right now, she's sitting at the bottom. Well, actually, at each step, she's been sitting at the bottom. She was being my eyes for the last part. And this time, she's being a second set of hands. She's going to hold on to the end of the Romex to make sure I don't pull the whole thing up through the wall. So I'm going to put the camera down here, draw this up, and she's going to make sure I've got the appropriate length at the bottom. All right, let's go. Okay, well, we've got our Romex pulled to the appropriate length here. So we're going to cut it, and we're going to wire it up to the fan. Okay, well this fan's kind of weird. We're all wired up now, but this fan's kind of weird because I guess the junction box, if you will, is kind of doesn't have a panel or anything to take off. So I'm just gonna take the wire knives and put them in here so the wires aren't exposed. But yeah, this is kind of odd. Most electrical devices have a panel that you can open and close and better secure the wires. But we'll do it this way because that's kind of what's been provided. Okay, this is all good up here electrically. Now we're going to go down and do the switches. Okay, so we're here in the bathroom and ready to wire up our new switch, which is a double switch. I did a little more investigating by turning the circuit panel on and putting my circuit tester on each of these wires, hot wires here. And I think I figured out what the third set of wiring is here. I think this is because this side here, which has the double set of wires in it, is the common or the supply for the power. So I'm pretty sure what that third wire is actually a connection to the GFCI on the wall, which is good because I'm pretty sure everything in a bathroom is supposed to be tied to the GFCI. So. This is the hot wire. It's off right now again. So we'll take this bottom wire here, and that'll become the common on this switch, which would be one of these guys right here.
And then for the top one here, I'll make it the light, which will be this wire right here. And then for the fan, that'll be this black wire will go here. And then I'll go ahead and tie in the neutral for the fan into the common neutral and the ground for the fan into the common ground here. And yeah, that's all there is to the switch side of things. So let's go ahead and do that. I stripped an extra piece of just regular unshielded wire here so I can get the ground on the switch tied into the common ground here as well. Alright, common neutrals, common grounds. This is the common ground, this is the common neutral. I'm probably going to have to go, because I'm adding one to each, I'm probably going to have to go up a wire nut size, but we'll see here. Okay, let's do the ground now. Okay, that's good. Now we'll just push all the wires into the wall and screw this thing in.
Okay, before I go ahead and put the switch plate cover and whatnot back on, I'm going to go ahead and turn the power back on here and make sure everything works. Hopefully this doesn't trip a circuit breaker or anything. Alright, let's go back inside.
Okay, we're back in the bathroom. Let's test it out. Top one's supposed to be the lights. Oops. I guess top one's going to be the fan then. Either that or I'll pull it out and switch it. Bottom one's lights. Okay, I guess I must have swapped this at one point. Yep, in fact it's upside down. Tell you what, I really did want the top one to be the lights, so I'm going to go outside and turn the circuit off, pull it out, rotate it, and put it back in. Otherwise, it seems to be working. Okay, as you can see, we are back in the bathroom again. And I have my switch in the right way up this time. So now I can put our switch plate on. So I've got a new switch plate that matches the new style and a replacement foam gasket. This foam gasket thing's optional. I've been putting these in throughout the house to prevent or reduce air leaking, which will, in theory, is supposed to reduce the AC bill in the summer and potentially your heating bill in winter, but we don't have heating bills here in Arizona, but it's supposed to help with the AC in the summer. So switch plate, and we're back in business. Okay, well, that's all there is to it. We've got a new fan in. Our lights are still working. I'm going to run up to the attic real quick here and rake the insulation over that fan, which is all open, so I don't want to lose any heat there if I can help it, or AC. But I'm not going to bother showing you that because you guys can figure that one out pretty easily. But anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.